Hello everyone. In the last video, we have discussed about the a little introduction of the essay Why I am not a Hindu, which was composed by Kancha Ilya. So now we will discuss about detailed summary of the essay Why I am not a Hindu. The book The essay Why I Am Not a Hindu was written by Kancha Ilya. Uh, the full form of the essay is Why I Am Not a Hindu, a Shuddha critique of Hindu philosophy, culture and political economy, was published in 1996. It turned out to be a bestseller in India and abroad. Two chapters of this book, School Education and Hindu Ideals and Our Ideals, have been exported in our textbooks. Elia tells us how Dalitalizations alone can effectively challenge the threat of Brahminical fascism parading in the garb of Hinduism. Through this book, Elia made a powerful statement against the Hindu declarations that the Dalits too are Hindus. Even some Brahmins told the essayist that by reading this book, they discovered what was wrong with their religions and cultures and how they must change if they are to survive. In this chapter, School Education, Elia points out the differences between the privileged Brahmin Baniya children and the Dalit children. The children of upper castes were better dressed and better fed. Children entered the school with different cultures, with opposite eating habits. The attitude of Brahmins teachers was different to the Dalit children. They thought that it was dirty and unaesthetic to work in the mud, although mud is the birthplace of food. The upper castes children came to school wearing chappals, while the children who made chappals from the cattle skins didn't have chappals. The school textbooks had stories of Hindu gods and goddesses, poems from the Purans, and the names of Ramayana and Mahabharata, which were aligned to the Dalit students. Textbooks Telugu was Brahmin Telugu, whereas the Dalit were used to the productions based communicative Telugu. The stories of Dalit gods and goddesses found no place in these textbooks. Nobody thought that Dalits have a soul and that soul needs to be talked about. Nobody thought that there are Pochama, Mishama, and Potarju who need to be talked about. The Purohit culture was Sanskritized and the Dalits were not part of that culture. The childhoods of the Dalits were mutilated by consent abuse. Their home cultures were different from school cultures. The English textbooks had Milton's epics and Shakespeare's plays, Wordsworth's poetry and Kalidasa works, which were beyond the Dalit students. The two sanskars like Upanan and initiation into the working took place for upper class children, and these were resented by the Dalit children. These children are sent to English medium convent school. The children are sent to English medium convent schools. The customs of marriage and divorce were different. Divorce among the Dalits was easy and there were no sati systems among them. The textbook morality was different from the living morality of Dalits. Among the Hindus, a knowledgeable man was one who knows the Vedas, and courageous person is one who kills his enemies. Among the Dalits, a knowledgeable person is one who knows about sheep breeding, agriculture, road making, etc. A courageous person is one who can fight tigers, snakes, wild bulls, who can travel deep into forests, swim the river, and find the missing goats and sheep. The Hindu ideals and the Dalit ideals are opposed to each other. Their social settings are different. The Dalit women are equal to men in all respects. They smoke and drink like their menfolk. The Brahmin Banyas thinks that their ritualistic life is great and the Dalit Bhujan non-ritualistic working life is mean. The temples of upper castes are beyond. The Dalits, their children are unskilled gluttons while the Dalit contributes to the national economy. All this fills Kancha Ilya with anger and anguish. The Brahmin teachers hated the Dalit students. They considered the field hands and muddy fields as the dirty and unaesthetic, although mud is the birthplace of food. For the teachers, the students of upper caste families were great ones, while the great families were mean. The Dalit boys had no chappals, although they made chappals from the skins of the cattle. In higher classes, they were taught stories of Ram and Krishna, poems from the Purans, and the names of Ramayana and the Mahabharata, which they had never heard before. The Telugu next textbooks were packed with these, which were understood easily by the students of upper castes. Textbooks Telugu was Brahmin Telugu while the Dalits used productions-based communicative Telugu. India has not come across a Telugu textbooks which is written in the productions-based communicative language. No story of their gods and goddesses is found in these books. The Brahmin writers don't find these divine gods worth mentioning. Even the Telugu poets wrote no poems about these gods and goddesses. Their culture was basically Sanskritized and the Dalits were not a part of that culture. The childhood, the childhood of Dalit children were mutilated by constant abuse and their consciousness was suppressed. These two cultures were poles apart. For the Dalits, English classics or Kalidas epics made no differences as these were beyond their understanding. The Dalit knew nothing about Hindu sanskars. The Hindus used to condemn English schools, yet they sent their children to English medium schools. The Dalits live with many paradoxes. The Hindus used to condemn English schools, yet they sent their children to English medium schools. The Dalits live with many paradoxes. Hindu girls, once widowed, remained widows the whole of their lives, while Dalit girls could remarry after the death of their husbands or after divorce. The Dalit women never committed sati like the Hindu women. The textbook's morality was different from their living morality. There was a great contrast between the Hindus and the Dalits. In the Hindu's text, a knowledgeable man was one who knows the Vedas. A courageous person was one who kills enemies, even if the enemies are friends and relatives. But among the Dalits, a knowledgeable person is one who knows about sheep breeding, agriculture, rope making, one who can diagnose the nature of disease of animals and human beings. In another part of the essay, Kancha Ilya contrasts Hindu ideals with the Dalit ideals. In Brahmin families, the social settings are the reading of sloks and mantras with proficiency. Learning the Ramayana or the Mahabharata or the Bhagavad Gita by heart is the greatest achievement. Kancha Ilya says that their morality or values are different from the morality and values of Hindus. Their concepts of ideal teacher or good hero is just the opposite. The Brahmin Banyas thinks that their non-productive ritualistic life is great and the Dalit Bahujan non-ritualistic working life is mean. They think that they are better bred and they are greater race. Their temples were out of the reach of the Dalits. They were gluttons while the Dalits were starving. Their children were unpredictable gluttons, whereas the Dalit children contributed to the national economy. The Dalit parents were told that they were the most useless people. All this filled the assist Kancha area with anger and anguish. So this is a how does Kancha Iliad contrasts Hindu way of life with that of the Dalit Bahujans. Thank you.